a lot of conversations happening now around AI and technology, and how can we use that to identify what skills and talent we have. But
Hmm.
most of the technologies that you see out there, human capital management, those things are their HRS systems. They're really capturing only the surface level
Yeah.
information. And
Yeah.
so we've really got to get deeper. We've really got to get deeper, especially if we're thinking about AI and how it's going to make changes in the workplace.
I'm smiling as you're making the statement that we've got to get deeper. One of the elements of our work is around psychological profiling. And it tells us so much about an individual, and it tells us so much about teams. We can predict behaviors, we can predict decision making skills and competencies and focuses. We understand communication styles and preferences. We understand how people and organizations show up when they're in conflict. I would love to see talent management systems start incorporating those insights. This is just in parallel with what you're describing, which is
Agreed.
understanding skills and competencies on a much deeper level. And when we start overlying that, that psychological intel, I think again, when we think about succession planning or growth and development or hypo programs, those all of those programs are going to be benefited by better insights here.
Yeah, I agree. I do think what you were talking about in that psychological analysis and more assessments and those things will really help us to validate the skills that people are bringing and how well
Hmm.
they're going to progress in their succession and what
Hmm.
is their potential, right? I think we talk a lot about that right now. It's still very subjective, right, to a human
Hmm.
element to that. But I think some of these tools and technologies, if we can get them to talk together through AI, through other ways, and capture more of that information about people, I think we will get to a much more fully use of the talent that we have.